Hey guys, first I want to start this review, or, well, video, I guess, by saying sorry that this took so long to make. I had pretty much abandoned this video. I don't know why exactly, but I really just couldn't rewatch the movie, and I just wasn't gonna review it. I just kind of moved on from Dragon Ball for a little while, watching a lot of other shows, and out of nowhere, the unthinkable happened. And because that happened, you probably know what I'm referring to. I'm going to review Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the last film Akira Toriyama ever worked on, and the last piece of animated media currently out that he did work on. I don't want to keep this whole video in a somber tone like this, but there will be points where it is. Let's get into the movie. The beginning of this movie is a bit of a recap on the history of the Red Ribbon Army, and let me say, it's a pretty perfect opening for any Dragon Ball movie. I mean, it obviously only really fits this one because of how central the Red Ribbon Army are. But it's just amazing. It has striking visuals that any longtime Dragon Ball fan would recognize, and it's just a great way to give needed exposition to those who didn't watch classic Dragon Ball, and to give exposition on the new characters introduced in the film, like Magenta. Hedo's introduction is extremely good, and it comes pretty quickly after the cold introduction to the film. I love Hedo's introduction a lot because it sets up his morals and desires and his tendency to do wrong even when trying to do right. With how, even though he was trying to get funding for his research to basically create superheroes, he had zombies lurking at cash registers, scaring people, which ended up getting him arrested. And of course, later in the movie, how his tendency will make both him and the audience pay. And then, of course, my favorite scene in this movie happens.
The stinks. I'm leaving. I'm going back to playing my game. WarioWare. Get it together.
Oh my god!
To add a little more, I like the way Magenta convinces Hedo by kinda turning the whole superhero thing Hedo had to his advantage by villainizing the Z Fighters. It's pretty smart writing. Other than that, it's a pretty standard setup for the movie, even if I do think it was very well executed. It's kind of just there for exposition, which I don't mind, but as a whole, is well done, but okay. The training with Pan and Piccolo. This is pretty great, and as the certified #1 Piccolo enjoyer, I genuinely love this movie. I'm gonna go into a little bit of a tangent, but just stay with me. Piccolo's arc in the early arcs of Dragon Ball Z and his growth in the Android Saga fully gripped me when I first watched it. And it has always sucked how he's been sidelined throughout Super and even kind of near the end of Z, which makes me even happier that this movie exists. Where, very in character, Piccolo's taking care of Pan and training her, which is of course reminiscent to Gohan's training, but also show how far he's changed. He gives her a water break, and he's a much more kind mentor to her. He still doesn't really pull his punches too hard, but it's still a huge improvement from when he raised Gohan and how pretty brutal he was with that training. And I'm gonna put this little segment right here in because I don't really know where else I should put it, but I love the little details in this movie. Like how how he gets his attention by creasing his window, and how he holds his phone, or just the random gags in the background with Gamma 2 in that one scene. You know what I'm talking about. So this is the part of the video where I kind of stopped writing originally because I realized going through an entire movie scene by scene would take forever. So I stopped doing that. And, yeah. A big reason I love this movie as well, which I've kind of stated already, is that this is just a Piccolo movie. He gets the best transformation, he gets the most screen time, and he has the best fights in the movie. Though that leads me to other important parts of the movie that I think we need to talk about. Transformations and animation. I'm going to talk animation first because while I'm no expert on animation, I am an expert in looking at a screen and saying, that looks a-pretty. And yeah, this movie looks a-very a-pretty. Much better YouTuber than I, Totally Not Mark, talks about this in his review in more detail. And in his review, he talks about the mix of CGI and 2D animation in the film. And it is insane how much work went into this. And it shows. Just watch this. Okay, so the transformations in this movie are a mixed bag, especially Beast. People have clowned on this form, and there are people who love this form. I'm quite in the middle. On one hand, the transformation had zero build-up like Blue, and like Blue is kind of dumb. It's an evolution of a more interesting form that gave way to a unique point in the lore and story. But this is far less annoying than Blue. Blue buried the idea of Super Saiyan God being used as the main form and basically killed the form, even when it's so much cooler, and was literally just introduced. A Beast, which is the worst transformation in the series, is a new form for Gohan, someone who has definitely needed an upgrade, especially since his last form was kind of mid. Ultimate took Gohan in an interesting direction, but this I prefer, and I really like its look. And yeah, it's no secret, it's the modern Super Saiyan 2 in its design. You can see that. To my knowledge, those who don't like it feel it's unearned and looks dumb. And to that, I say, is Vegeta getting Super Saiyan earned? He didn't do half the shit Goku did, and yet he got Super Saiyan because he really, really wanted it. And this is where I'm gonna lose some of you, but hear me out, okay? Gohan Super Saiyan 2 in Z has terrible execution.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
No. Before you find my IP address and Falcon punch me into the sun. No! Hear me out. What sounds better for a transformation for Gohan? Cell, a bio-android with no real connection to Gohan, who kills another android, who Gohan is not deeply connected to, hearing a speech about how beautiful the world is, dying right in front of him, awakening his rage. Or Cell, a monster from Gohan's past that is now holding his master, borderline his godfather, who has told him to train over and over, which Gohan ignored, which has now put his master in the hands of Cell. This ignites his anger and trauma from his past, the frustration in himself, and he shows his rage. Yeah, this scene is not even comparable. Gohan has basically no connection to anything other than the Z Fighters and the Earth when Cell kills 16. And like, yeah, it should make him mad, but if anything, he should have transformed after Goku sacrificed himself. You know, his dad. It would have made way more sense, and in terms of design, it's literally just the classic Super Saiyan 2 design on a grown man. If you like that design, and not Beast design, then you're allowed to think that way. Though that's a little silly, like, come on, man. Orange Piccolo. Okay. I'd like to take my statement on Beast being the dumbest transformation name. Orange is a great transformation, and in my opinion, the best form since Super Saiyan. And if you disagree with me, watch this.
All you have, plus a bit extra.
Other than that form, most forms are just their hair changes color. And not gonna lie, I think a planet-conquering alien or a bio-android could probably beat an average Twitter user. I'm just saying. And this form is smart. The way that it comes back from Z essentially being this birthright that Kami left for Piccolo after he passed, it's just kind of genius. And even the concept that, like, this is something that Piccolo's always deserved, he just never really got. I think that's really cool. If you're gonna argue that this is unearned, there's other forms that are way more unearned than this, and Piccolo has been through the shit for like 30 years. Give him a break, please. He's finally doing things, and people will turn around and say this form is unearned. This is probably the second or third most earned form in the series. Well, and, okay, again, yes, he does literally wish for power, but like, come on, dude. Goku just getting a new form out of nowhere is a lot cheaper than this. So, I like this a lot better. And just little, side part of the movie, kind of, something crazy. The real best fight of the movie. Goku and Vegeta, baby. Where Vegeta wins? And it's not bullshit? Oh my god. I love how this fight is genuinely cool and goes on for like a whole afternoon, which is just kind of raw. The one criticism of this scene I've seen, and, well, is the big dumb Dragon Ball Super criticism That being the whole Goku is dumber now thing. People say this, and it's just so weird to me because he was borderline brainless in classic Dragon Ball and had some really airheaded moments in Z. But at least here people have some ground to stand on. Like, yeah, Goku has meditated before, and he was a kid with Kami and Mr. Popo, so yeah, he should know what meditation is. But, like, he was a kid, and Vegeta would know meditation because he did it recently. Like, when I say he's a kid, I'm not just saying, oh, he did it when he was a kid, so he forgot. He literally did this like 50 years ago. They have fought so many world-ending threats since he has meditated once in the entire series, while Vegeta literally meditated an arc ago. Like, I'm not even joking. He did it in the Moro arc on Planet Yardrat, and before you start talking some, well, Goku was on Yardrat, so he probably meditated there. No, A, we didn't see his training, and B, he only learned instant transmission. This was likely something to learn for Spirit Fission. Or whether you agree with that or not, that's not really the point. The point is, this criticism is stupid and it's a nitpick. And people that really will take moments like this and say Goku's stupid when it's not supposed to be about that, it's a really invalid and just stupid criticism. But I will talk about that in another video, because it genuinely annoys me. But the fight itself with Goku and Vegeta ends in a very crazy superhero reference, that being the end credit scene, which is genuinely hilarious. Almost as hilarious as Beerus in this movie. Having him, like Chilai is, I mean, honestly really funny. But other than that, him being more mad Broly is on his planet because he might destroy the planet, then, like, he would hit him or something, which they did in, like, Super a lot, and it just made Beerus not seem very threatening. But in this, he's just like, he will destroy my planet. I don't want him to do that. Not like, oh, he's gonna kick my ass, which is just way more Beerus than Beerus has been acting. And also letting them end up staying because A, he likes Chilai, and B, I forget his name, but like Broly's friend guy makes good food. That's hilarious. That is just genuinely really funny. One thing too, I think people get kind of weird over Beerus because he's not always like angry, gonna destroy Earth or something, but like, come on. I love Angry Beerus. Like, he can be genuinely really threatening, and the voice actor in both the dub and the sub does a really great job of selling that. But this Beerus is my man, and it's so humorous that Elder Kai, Roshi, and Beerus are all pervs, but not the Chad King Kai. And Kami too, I guess. Yeah, he's okay. Now, what about development, or the new characters? Let me tell you something about this movie. It introduced the world to the greatest thing Super ever created. Gamma 2. My absolute main man. He is funny, has so much personality, and is genuinely a fun rival to Piccolo. And when he did switch sides, my goodness, he came into the kitchen with all the equipment, he got his trusty spatula, and he was here to cook! After thinking the Red Ribbon Army were good for like 80 minutes, which is just a pretty big leap in judgment, he sees Magenta's main lackey try to shoot a 3-year-old with a gun, so 2 being a superhero stops that shit, shuts it down, and Pan the 3-year-old one-shots the grown assassin, which is so funny. And Pan is in this movie, obviously, and she's, well, way better than she is in GT for sure. Gohan in this movie, much like the form he gets, I feel very conflicted on. Everything in the second half of the movie, I thought was great. Him getting into action when Pan is in danger, him rising to the occasion on the reveal that he was training in the background was awesome. And don't get me started on Gohan using this. My favorite move in the series, the move that got me hooked on the show, is the Special Beam Cannon. Yeah. It's pretty legit when he does that, I'm not gonna lie. It's tight, it got me geeked. I was jumping up and down, whacking my willy, spamming my shaboing boing. It was a good time, it was a great time. It was just a nice moment, man. It was so nice to see him use that move as someone who always kind of wanted him to use Piccolo's moves. It was just a really, really cool moment. And I love, too, that he actually starts losing in fights because he himself does not really like fighting. But the second Pan is remotely in danger, he goes straight to ultimate and just beats the brakes off of Gamma 1. It is so good. Like, he goes from, like, losing pretty bad to barely evening it out to just kind of whopping him for the remainder of the fight that we see. And it's pretty awesome. I genuinely love everything about Gohan in the second half. But then, Gohan had to remind me of the beginning of the movie when he sucked. Because then he apologized to Piccolo for being naive. In that scene, Piccolo tells Gohan he should keep his training. And then Gohan said this. Well, would another Earth-ending threat really come? The fact that he says this is insane. The fact that people will turn around and say Goku's being character assassinated when Goku's two biggest traits are dumb and likes fighting, and he is still dumb and likes fighting. But Gohan, a character who literally just went through an arc to improve and actually keep training to protect the world, can say something this dumb? I don't know, man. I guess with this movie, I'm just mad because people have dumb criticisms, and they need to have better criticisms. Like me. It's been crazy to me that he said this to the guy that died for him twice because of an alien invasion that Gohan wasn't ready for. That's crazy. That is insane to me. Oh my god, you cannot say that to him. That is just wrong. Piccolo is perfect, and I don't have much to say. He's funny, he's cool, he's Piccolo. The wish for Orange Piccolo is sick, and immediately followed by the best joke in the movie, that Bulma puppy guards the Dragon Balls for cosmetic surgery, and the fact that everyone makes fun of her for how petty that is just so funny. Piccolo is handled great in this movie. He himself doesn't really have an arc necessarily, but it's just really, really cool seeing him take down the Red Ribbon Army and do all this stuff kind of by himself. It's easy to forget because Super sidelines the shit out of him and Tien, like, the most, but, like, genuinely, they could do cool shit. Like, Piccolo used to be able to just solo the Z Fighters. That's insane. You can't think of that now, but that was a thing. He could have done that at one point. This movie is kind of programmed to make me like it. It has some dumb stuff that I think is kind of just the curse of modern Dragon Ball, but genuinely has so much good stuff, so much fun, so much heart, beautiful animation, amazing character writing for the most part, amazing comedy, because when Toriyama writes comedy, he always does an amazing job with that. This movie is, like I said a second ago, just built for me to enjoy it. And for people like me, this is just gonna be their favorite Dragon Ball movie, and I don't think that's much of a debate. For me, it's my definitive favorite, and I think is straight up the best. This movie just being a love letter to the best written characters in the entire series at one point, who have fallen off pretty hard since their amazing points in the show. And because of that, I have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I think, it has problems, like I said, but I love so much about this movie that it's going to be hard to top in terms of Dragon Ball movies going forward, especially without Toriyama's style, which leads me to the last part of the video. So now we're back to the more somber part of the video. So if you don't want that and you just wanted the funny Dragon Ball review, then you can click off now. So I started this review initially months ago, obviously, but I never did it, and Toriyama passed, and I knew when that happened that I needed to do this. Even if it's kind of dumb, it's, I guess, my way of showing respect to him. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I have a script here, but I haven't been reading it for this part of the video. But, Toriyama's passing hit me hard. Dragon Ball as a series is a power fantasy, but more than that, it's creative, it's beautiful, it's fun, it gets you pumped, it can make you cry, it's so creative. Few mangaka in the last 30 to 40 years haven't taken some inspiration from it. Truly, it's the work of a genius. It's outstanding. This show has made millions push through pain, anxiety, let them fight through hard times, fucking punch your depression into the sun because you're just that guy. Maybe not that last one, but seriously, Dragon Ball is one of the few shows to make me laugh and make me love, as corny as that sounds. And I'm gonna say thank you, and goodbye, Akira Toriyama.
I'm gonna miss you guys, but don't worry, I'll be just fine up here. It's really not so bad, and King Kai says they're gonna give me special treatment on account of all the times I helped to save the Earth. Most people, and definitely bad guys, just turn into spirits here, but they're gonna let me keep my body. And if that's not enough, I won't ever get any older. And there are a bunch of old fighting masters here from before my time, so it's not like I won't have plenty to do. Should be fun. King Kai's back to normal thanks to Shenron, but he says he's gonna take some time off and show me around, so I've already got one friend to keep me company. I know it's kind of a raw deal for you and your mom going on, but you don't have to wish me back, okay? Besides, son, you're so strong now, I have nothing left to teach you.
But that doesn't mean I don't need you.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm out of time. But take care, okay?